Hi, Stampers. This is Terry. It's Monday. Welcome to my coffee and a card. We'll just give it a minute or so before we start.
Motion detected at the front door.
Oh. All right, why don't we get started? So, once again, it's Monday, and this is my coffee and a card. And I'm Terry from Terrific Cards. And I'm so glad that you could join me tonight. If you're watching this in a replay, just shoot me a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Love to know what you think. And what you think of the project, what you think of the lives, anything that you want to share. All right. So I have my blueberry tea, and we just finished with a thunderstorm a little bit ago. So it's nice and everything's fresh now. And it's a little warm in here. I had to close the window because there was I guess the crow, magpie, something outside the window that was just chirping up a storm. Holy smokes. So close the window so I don't have to hear him and so you don't have to hear him. Today I really wanted to make a very simple card. And this isn't going to take any time at all, and just show you how to use the Memories and More cards. So I did a video last night for those of you who signed up for the Thoughtful Journey class by mail. And so you should have received the link for that. And I was really happy to do that. That was fun. And watch for more classes coming up. I got some in July, some in August. We've got Christmas in July coming up, the middle of the month, I believe. And Fun Folds is coming up the middle of the month, and then Christmas in July is coming up towards the end of July. And so those will be some fun classes. I can't wait for that. If you haven't signed up, shoot me a message and put your name on the list. And I've also got some classes coming up for August too. This week, Stampin' Up! Is starting with some, what are they called? Bonus days. So for every $60 that you spend in July, you earn a coupon for $6 that you can then use towards your orders in August. So it's a great payback if you want to order some supplies. I know that there's some stuff coming out on the 5th of July, new online exclusives. So those will be some really good things. The Christmas set that we're going to be using at the end of July is also coming out in that online exclusive this week. So watch for that. And what else is there? Oh, the mat, the glass mat. Stampin' Up! Has their glass mat that was only available during celebration for demonstrators who signed up. And now they are offering it to everyone. So you can start buying that this week as well on July 5th. So that's exciting. I think I'm actually going to get one myself. I know you've all seen in my videos that I have my own glass mat, but I wanted a second one. So I think I'm going to pick one up this week. All right. So how about if we get started with that card? Grab your beverage. Tell me what's been going on in your week. Mine has been pretty boring, other than, like I said, I did that video last night. Oh, happy Canada Day, by the way. I forgot about that too. I had to work today, so didn't get a chance to really celebrate too much, but all right, here we go. Let's put this down here so you can see my card. All right. So this is what we're making tonight. And like I said before, it is a super simple card, but I've thrown in a technique here. So hopefully you enjoy this. All right. So I'm going to put this aside and we will get started on that. So if you're following along or if you're playing along, if you're following along, that's great. If you want to play along, that is fabulous too. So grab your cardstock for your base. And we're just going to fold that. Mine seems a little off. There we go. All right. So I got that folded. Now we're going to take our peach pie. So I've got a piece of cardstock that's 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm going to take that. Oh, no, actually, you know what? It's not. It is 4 7/8. Sorry, no. 3. Now let me think about this. It's 1/8 of an inch smaller than what this card is. Sorry, that's those little measurements confuse me sometimes. So it is. So the card base is 5 1/4. So that makes this 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Now, I knew I would get it eventually. It just takes a little time sometimes. So I'm going to take my stamp and seal. And we are going to glue that down. It's good that I never claim to be perfect. I just like to have some fun making cards. Perfection's overrated. At least in my world, anyway. All right, let's glue that down. See, now I have dog hair everywhere. I'm sure you've seen Harley in some of my posts. Okay. So this is from the Memories and More, the thoughtful moments, I think. Memories and More. It's from the Thoughtful Journey suite. And so we're going to take this, but right now it's a little bit big. I'm going to grab my paper trimmer. And I'm going to cut this down. So we're going to make this 5 by 4. 5 by 3 3/4. Okay, so actually the card is already 4 inches. Oh, so we're going to do 5 1/4. Sorry. So we don't have to cut it down that way, but we do have to cut the sides down. So this is 6 inches. And I want it to be 5 1/4. So I need to take 3/4 off. So I'm going to try and do it as close to taking even sides off on each side. So I want to take just over 1/4. So I'm going to go here at 5 5/8. I think 5 5/8. That sounds about right. Right. And we're going to turn it this way, and we're going to go to 5 1/4. And roll it there. Well, that looks pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. Look at my 2 little pieces. They are even. Sometimes I just amaze myself. All right. So this piece we are going to put on our card front. Just make sure that I've got it right, and I do, before I start gluing anything. Because I am sure that we have all had those moments where, we glue first and think afterwards. not always the best scenario. All right, there we go. All right, there's the start of our card. Now for the technique. So I'm just going to put that up there. And I'm going to pull out my watercolor paper. All right, so I just have a scrap piece of watercolor. I'm going to grab my little palette here. And I actually have some Mossy Meadow in there. So I'm using Mossy Meadow and I'm using Calypso. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to put one drop of Calypso Coral into the palette. And like I said, I've already got some Mossy Meadow in there. And then I'm going to add just a bit of water. So I want to dilute that. So I'm going to start with the Mossy Meadow. And get some of that off. Don't want it too dark. And I'm going to color the bottom of my paper. So all I'm doing is watercoloring a bit of the bottom here. It's going to give us different shades of green as we go through, because my water painter is kind of adding a little bit more water on there as we go. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're actually going to die cut from this. So we don't need to worry too much about it. All right. Now, I'm going to grab a second painter, just because I don't really have anything to clean that one with. So I'm just going to grab the second one, and I'm going to do some Calypso Coral on the top. Once again, it does not have to be perfect. It can be as light or as dark as you want it to be. Now I'm fussing a little bit. I'm going all the way to the edge, which I don't really need to do. But, you know, we have time to play. So we're going to make our cardstock all pretty. Yeah. How's that look to you? I think it looks pretty good. All right, here we go. So let's move this over here. And I'm going to grab my chamois just so I can quickly wipe this mess up. I don't want ink everywhere. So that's the nice thing about the glass mat, is you can watercolor on it, you can get ink everywhere, and then you just whoosh, wipe it all off. All right, it's gonna be a little loud. I'm gonna pull out my heat gun and we're gonna dry this off. All right, so give me 2 seconds. I will try and talk a little bit over top of it, but if you can't hear me, don't worry about it. This won't take long. All right. So we just want to make this dry before we start die cutting it. Otherwise, it doesn't die cut very well. You get like wet, mushy paper. All right. I think that looks pretty good. There we go. Okay. So I have some die cuts here, some dies. Some die cuts. I have some dies. So I've got the flower from Thoughtful Moments, Thoughtful Wishes. You know, I can never remember. I remember that the suite is called Thoughtful Journey, but the stamp set is actually Thoughtful, and I think it's Thoughtful Wishes. But for some reason, it just will not stick in my head. So anyway, so we've got the dies from that. So we've got the flower. I'm actually going to cut 2 of these out. So I want to lay this out so that I get the Calypso Coral flower. And then I've got some leaves as well. All right, so I'm going to lay those out onto here so I can cut those out. I'm going to grab our die cut machine. My little mini. All right. And we'll set this up on here. Go. Yep. Okay. All right, so I have a lot of flour here. It's stuck to my mat a little bit. There we go. Okay, one little flour. Now I want 2 of these. So I'm going to die cut another one. We'll get our leaves off as well. Okay, there's our leaves. So now we need 1 set of leaves, but I want 2 flowers. So I'm going to put this back on here and we're going to do 1 more flower. So we're just going to set that up a little bit so we get the green, get the calypso. There we go. Snap there. All right, here we go. Got another one. Perfect. Now you can use this again. You could use it for other leaves, other flowers. You don't have to throw it out. You made this fabulous piece of paper your own background. So just keep it. All right, let's have some tea here. All right. Cool. So now let's take these little pieces out of there. So now I want to place these because I don't want them to cover up the happy birthday. So I'm going to place them so that they are right around there. I'm going to place my leaves as well. There we go. What do you think? How does that look? I think that looks pretty good. Now I know I can get them on there, so I'm going to take my liquid glue and now yesterday I had an issue with this and it came out in just a blob. So we don't want that to happen again. So I'm just squirting this out off camera here. See if we can get some out. I may have to use my conceal if I don't. This doesn't want to come out. Oh, there we go. Yep, it came out in a blob again. Would be very good on my dainty little flower here. That's okay. I'll use the glue for something else later. Now, if you have a sponge, you could use the sponge, dab it into the glue, and then sponge it on the back of the die cut. That works as well. Right. Put that in there. More on this one. So you could punch out a bunch of these cards really quickly. If you've already got your paper, so you do your paper, do a larger piece, die cut a bunch of flowers and leaves, get them all done, and then just pop out some cards. Little manufacturing going there. Here we go. All right, so now you've got our dies on there. And then I'm just going to take some linen thread and I'm going to make a quick little bow. And we'll put a touch of glue right at the bottom of our leaves and flowers there. Go ahead and we'll add our bow. We'll just hold that for a second, give it a chance. Let the glue set for a sec. There we go. Okay, now I'm just going to trim these real quick. There. So, okay. And then last but not least, always some bling. There. What do you think? Pretty quick, pretty easy, and no one's going to know that it didn't take you any time at all. And there's our finished card. All right. Let's see. Hi. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that. We're done a little bit early tonight, not quite 7:30, but so get back to your families, to watching TV, enjoying your family or your Canada Day, and I will hopefully see you next week on Coffee and a Card. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.